The Broken Mold by Olivia Morgan. The sun was shining into the shop and it lit up the room. Looking at the car in front of me and the song Kiss Goodnight by I don't know how, but they found me playing in one of my ears. The Bluetooth headphones I was using were perfect, even if only one was in my ears. The silver coloring of the car. The engine. I turned to my toolbox and pulled out a 5x8 wrench and fixed in the bolts. A new voice got my attention, though. It was rough from years of experience. Is there anyone here? I need some new tires and my check engine light is on. Looking up, I find a man with a cruel black haircut and stormy gray eyes. He was in jeans and a white t-shirt. I bit my lip, and I felt the cold metal of my labret piercing. Turning off my headphones and putting them away, I walk over to the man. As I was approaching, his gray eyes helped mine. I said, trying to sound smooth, "I can help you. Does your car have any history with its engine?" "No, my car hasn't had any engine problems. I got an oil change a few months ago," he said, trying to keep his attention on my eyes. "Have you gotten into any accidents?" I asked, turning to walk over to an open clipboard and start writing down his answer. "Nope, not even once," he responded. I turned back to him, only to find him looking at the ground, face a little red. "You okay there?" "You look a little red there," I said, raising an eyebrow. Then asking, "Is it my eyes? I know they're off-putting, but they're not going to do anything." "No, your eyes are very lovely. It's just they caught me off guard," he said. I smiled. This man has never met a person with heterochromia. But then again, everyone has a different reaction to this. Even my dad reacted the same way when I came home. "It's fine. My name is Jessie. What's yours, sir?" I smiled. Out of the corner of my eye, a movement could be found. Moving my eye slightly to the movement, I saw a chimera. The lion head was facing the ground, nose bouncing. The man's voice got my attention again. "My name is Eliza Chester. Do you think my car is a problem?" I responded with, "Yes, maybe a screws or something got snagged. I'll take a look. Bring in your car." One of the new guys, whom I didn't know well, pulled in the car, and all I could do was work on the vehicle. The chimera hasn't spotted me yet, so I had time. I needed to get to my sword. Where is it? In my car? Maybe it's in my bag. Why is it here? How did it find me? I need to get out of... Stop it, Jessie. You can't panic right now. You have a customer. So get a grip and get the job done. I take a deep breath and start walking over to Elijah's car. As I got closer, I see something is off with one of the tires. But I can wait. I need to look at the engine. Walking to the front of the car, opening the hood to see hints of corrosion. The closer I look, the more corrosion can be seen. Sweet Zeus, how long has this been happening? Turning back to Elijah, saying, "You have some corrosion in your radiator. I can remove it, but it'll take a bit. Is there anything else about the car's history I should know?" "Nope, the car hasn't had any major problems till now," he said. I looked behind him, right to the chimera. The Serpentine was looking around, but the goat head hasn't done anything yet. How did it find me? The smell of the grease in the oil should repulse the creature. Fixing the engine was easy, but now I had to look at the tires. The front one had a nail, and the back left didn't have any form of damage. But both the right front and back traction had faded. But the fade looked wrong, almost like it was melted. Looking back at the chimera, I realized what it was looking for. Elijah must be in danger. Walking over to the tire track and got 3 new tires down, bringing them over to his car, getting them all into the correct spots, and screwing into place, putting on the hubcap, hooks back on. I still have time. I need to get my sword in case the creature attacks. Everything's taken care of. Do you need anything else while you're here? Looking at Elijah, I could see he was nervous. He responded, "No, I'm good." The chimera started walking towards the garage door. I need to get that creature out of here and away from Elijah. But how? Looking at Elijah, seeing he was looking around, odd, but I didn't have time for this. After giving him the bill, him paying without any problems, I looked back at my station and saw that my bag wasn't there. My breath increased with panic when I realized that my sword, along with my bag, was in my car. When everything was done, I said to one of my coworkers, I need to go and check something in my car. He nodded and got right back to work. Walking out of the shop, I carefully not to get the attention of the creature, and once my car came to sight, I ran up to it. The second I got to the driver's door and opened it, reaching into the car, pulling out my bag from the passenger seat. Once I got out of the car, with my bag, I started looking around for something to get the chimera's attention. My search came to a quick end when I found the perfect stone. Grabbing the stone, I started to aim and wind up. Throwing the stone in the goat head and got its attention. The chimera slowly approached, Snakehead ready to strike. The goat head was getting ready and the lion was ready to pounce. Reaching into my gray bag, grabbing the case, threw my bag back in the car, opening the glasses case, and pulling out a celestial bronze sword. One of the few weapons to harm monsters. I was glad at carrying the sword, even if I could stay hidden to protect fellow demigods. Looking at the chimera, smirking, getting into stance for a fight, my sword's faint glow, the warning that I was ready. But a voice got my attention. The voice came rough from the ears and called out, "Jesse, what are you doing? That thing will kill you!" I didn't get a chance to reply. The chimera struck. Launching at me, claws ready, moving out of the way, barely missing me, but causing me to drop my sword and caused the case to go under my car. Running out of the way from the creature, while this was happening, I saw Elijah running, while holding a dagger. He got to me before I could say anything. He stepped right in front of me, blocking me from the chimera from getting anywhere near me. The move surprised me. No one has ever tried to save me from a monster. Not even my human father couldn't protect me. Looking around at the ground for my sword, I couldn't see it. Where'd it go? I need to find it. Looking back at Elijah, seeing him tussle with that chimera, I knew he needed my help. I scavenged to find my sword quickly and found it under the car. Grabbing it and turning around, I started to run like one of Zeus's lightning bolts. Pulling my sword up, I got close, looking for the creatures and seeing where to aim. Once I got there, I took a swipe at its paws while Elijah aimed at the serpent. Making sure that all the heads couldn't strike or bite, Elijah and I landed the final blow, and the chimera disintegrated into a puff of smoke. The smell of sulfur was in the air. I then quickly grabbed my glasses case that was thrown under my car. I found it. Opening it while standing, placing my sword into its rightful place. Elijah's voice got my attention. "Are you the child of Hephaestus? You have the best skills I've ever seen, both in battlefield and inventing," Elijah said, smiling. All I could feel was sadness. It happened again. And I replied with, No, I'm the child of Aphrodite. And don't feel bad, everyone makes that mistake. Sorry. Thanks for fixing my car. Elijah blushed, then said, Can I take you to a coffee shop? I stared at him, feeling the redness on my cheeks. Elijah, still blushing, saying, I want to thank you for helping me fight that monster. Smiling, and I said, I get off at 4. See you then. With that, I walked into the shop. After work, I walked off to find Elijah waiting for me, smiling at me. He sauntered over to me as I was walking over to him as well. You ready? He asked. I nodded. Once he told me where the coffee shop was, we headed out. I walked over to my car and got in. As I started to drive, I thought about the day. When the shop came into view, I pulled into a spot. Elijah did the same. After we walked into the coffee shop, the warm smell of burnt vanilla entered my nose like a flower. Walking to the counter shop, I got a tea and Elijah got a coffee. We both paid our own drinks. Once our order was done, we went to a booth in the far corner of the place. But before I could get any sips of my tea, Elijah spoke. What are some of the hobbies you have? A giggle left my lips before I could catch it. Then I replied, smiling, well, that's a way to start a conversation. Anyways, I'm good at inventing, jewelry making, and a little good at makeup and painting. How about you? Well, they aren't as interesting as yours, but I read, draw, and design new buildings and highways. He smiled back at me. Who's your godly parent? You know mine, it seems only fair I should know yours, I said, changing the subject. His stormy gray eyes widened, but then softened. My mother's Athena. My father and I would talk about her from time to time. He paused, sighing. He is remarried, and we try not to bring up the fact that I am the son of a goddess. What is your stepmom like? I asked, staring at him. He smiled. We have an okay relationship, but we didn't have time to get to know each other. What about your family? It has to be better than mine. My dad and I had a lot of problems. Looking up from the table, Elijah continued. To start with the fact, I changed my look after I found out my mom was Aphrodite. I grew out my hair, got my lip pierced. He didn't like any of it. He said I should stay the same. It got worse after I came out. Feeling the tears run down my face, I turned away from him. He didn't need to see me like this, all upset and breathing erratically. He placed his hand onto mine that was still on the table. The warmth got me to breathe normally. You can talk to me. I'm a therapist. I understand hearing about troubles of others, he said, smiling, then removed his hand from mine. Sighing, I continued. The day I came out as non-binary and pan, I was attacked by the Gorgons and subsequently forced to tell him. The Gorgons were saying things like, you aren't a good target, but you'll have to do. Looking around, seeing that no one was looking, I pulled the sleeve to my shirt. Right there on my right arm was a long scar, saying they gave me this. Once I killed them, I was left with this. My dad liked the fact that I would put my life in danger. Starting the line about no son of his wouldn't do this. He wouldn't grow out his hair like a girl or get his lip pierced. I don't remember what else he said, but I just snapped and shouted at him that I'm non-binary. Putting my sleeve down, looking at Elijah's gray eyes, I continued. It set him off, and he just shouted me to just leave and never talk to him again. He gave me a warm smile and said, Have you been able to speak to him after that conversation? Did he ever try to call you again? I look at him. I look at my tea and shake my head. He didn't try. But there were times when he tried to call, but before I could answer, he hung up. I said, How about this? You call him and have a true heart-to-heart. but it's up to you when you are ready," he smiled. "Do you think it might help? He can be stubborn," smiling at him. I then picked up my tea and started drinking the rest of my tea. As the both of us were getting closer and gave each other our phone numbers, he said, looking at his watch, "I need to head out. Let's do this again." I smiled at him. I haven't shared with someone like this in so long. My half-siblings on my mother's side all have lives and don't need to talk a lot. "It was lovely to meet you. We have to do this again," I smiled. Elijah stood up, kissed me on the cheek, and walked out of the shop. Blushing, I was the next, but once I was outside, I pulled out my phone and started to dial. The line rang 3 times before he picked up. Once I heard his voice, the feeling of love came over me. "Hi, Dad. It's been a while," I said. His voice was how it's always been, smooth like honey. "Hello, Jesse. It's been a long time. How have you been?" Smiling, I started talking to him, and while doing so, I walked to my car. Today was the greatest day of my life.